Hey guys, it's Doug coming at you with yet another video helping transform you from pawn to player in this game we call life. Today I'm going to be talking about subliminal messaging and how you can use subliminal audio programs to reprogram your subconscious mind and achieve beautiful results in your daily life. Now this topic is very personal to me just because I've achieved so many wonderful things and have improved my life in countless ways via these subliminal audio programs. Now, everything I talk about on this channel is something I've tried and succeeded with, had good results with. However, there's something about subliminals that for whatever reason just seem to really resonate and work well with me. Now, the first thing people might be asking and when they watch this video is, aren't subliminals those things marketers use to, mess with our mind and, get us to buy products we normally wouldn't want? And that is true. That is one of the main applications of them. However, subliminals themselves are just a tool, and like every tool, it can be applied for good or bad purposes. Today we're going to be talking about how you can use the tool of subliminal messaging to actually improve your life. So you might have even seen some of these videos on YouTube. They're all over the place. The industry itself seems to have really sprung up and become popular in the last few years. But there's all kinds of videos on YouTube claiming, stuff like, oh, it can attract money, be a big money magnet, get taller, get shorter, be happier, all kinds of stuff. And the real cool thing about it, guys, is these do work. Now, there are people out there that, either create subliminals that aren't as effective. And like everything, there are, disinfo kind of shills, things like that do put out subliminals that actually negatively affect the person. However, there are some very good ones out there, and I'll recommend one in a moment, the one that I mainly use just because their videos are so powerful. And I'll also talk about how you can use your own discernment in order to figure out which ones are good and bad. And even, you can actually just download these videos yourself, run them through Audacity, and look at the various audio layers in the program itself to see if there's anything nefarious hidden within them. And there's tutorials about all that on YouTube. I won't go into the specific technical details on that. Just know that all subliminals you can actually verify yourself. And what's really cool is you can also create your own subliminals. So let's say, you're just not happy with the ones you find on YouTube, or there's a certain result you want and just no one's ever made that subliminal before. There's all kinds of stuff, like I listed earlier, growing taller, getting stronger, losing weight, having clearer skin. So most of the things people would try to accomplish have already actually been done and posted on YouTube. But you might have some bright idea of something you could fix that you just don't see on YouTube. And that is actually an awesome opportunity to create something new. And maybe that is your calling. Maybe that's something you can put out there to help the world. Or, you can use similar videos, but maybe you just want to put different music to it. Maybe you have music you'd prefer. I know some of them, will produce good results, but it's not necessarily the best music. Or, it's all a preference thing, of course, but some music might be boring or, some things your ear just might not like. And it's all a preference thing. And the biggest part of subliminals is just the experimentation, the using your discernment and figuring out stuff on your own. Just trying it, because all you're doing is listening to something. So you can easily just keep the subliminals on in the background. And then just see how you feel during it. That's the main way you use your discernment to determine whether or not a program is helping or harming you. And most of them aren't harming you. I don't mean to scare anybody there. Honestly, I've only ran into about one that was actually verified to be harmful, and their channel has since been deleted. So it's one of those things where I'm not even going to get into that because they don't even exist on YouTube anymore. But just to something to keep in mind. Don't just blindly believe it without first doing some research. However, most of them on there are benevolent, and it's people like myself, like you even, that are just trying to increase their own spiritual awareness. So most things are helpful on there. Now, I know most people would probably say, hey Doug, well, what do you use? I'd rather cut through all the BS and just go right to a good source. And the person I would recommend on YouTube is known as Dr. Virtual 7. Now, I'm not affiliated with the man in any way. However, his subliminals always seem to uplift me as I'm listening to it afterwards, and I get positive results from them. It's really cool. One I listen to, just as a brief example, is this one for increasing height. And it's pretty interesting, too, because you'll be just kind of going throughout your day, and you'll notice, your perspective. Oh, wow, maybe I am getting taller. Maybe the toilet just looks like it's closer to the ground, like you've gotten taller. Just as an example, or wow, there's really a different angle here when I look out the window, and that's all cool. However, you never know for sure if that's just all in your head. Are you really getting the You are, but you really want to get some outside proof. So the coolest part of subliminals for me is when somebody, that you've never even talked about subliminals with, mentions something. So it was so surreal. I had been listening to the Growing Taller one for a few weeks, and then all of a sudden, the people around me started, asking, hey, did you get taller? And it's kind of a weird thing, especially because, common knowledge would dictate that after a certain age, we stop growing. And that's not entirely true. It's actually more that we've been fed that information, and our mind then adapts and says, oh, well, you can't grow anymore, you're too old. When in fact, we can do anything, guys. It's actually really cool. And what subliminals do is it goes right to your subconscious mind and rewrites all of these, not necessarily harmful beliefs, but just limiting beliefs. They can be harmful beliefs too. However, in this case, not being able to grow taller is more limiting than harmful. However, it is amazing when you do grow taller. So I do encourage you guys to take a look at the things that interest you the most. I'll leave a link to Dr. Virtual 7's YouTube channel in the comments, the description box below. And I recommend you guys just go on his channel, and he has tons of videos listed. So just look at all of the ones, and whatever one speaks to you the most, just click on it and start listening to it. See how you feel. Now, it is important to note that because subliminal messages, the way they work is through repetition. And so the way you reprogram your mind with them is to keep listening to them at least once per day. Now, of course, if you listen to it more than once in a day, it will actually improve, it'll work even faster. However, the biggest thing about all this is the consistency. And you'll find that's a pretty consistent theme, for lack of a better term, throughout all of spirituality, is it's about a daily consistent practice. So now most of those subliminals recommend you go for about 21 days to 42 days, and then, even longer if you just feel like it. I, for one, have a playlist that I just kind of have on in the background, almost all times of the day, honestly, unless, of course, you're in a public place, and it'd be a little weird having music coming from your phone. But, I'm just throughout the day, if I'm writing, I'm browsing the internet, heck, even watching stuff on YouTube, like, why not have a subliminal on in the background? You'd be surprised at just how quick you get used to having a constant sound in the background, and you really don't have to have it on too loud or anything either. It's just as long as it's audible and you're picking it up through your ear, your subconscious mind will still be resonating and picking up that frequency, even if there's a loud noise that for whatever reason you can't audibly hear it. As long as when you first turned on the actual program you heard it. Just as a quick example, you can go into the shower and, you normally you can't hear much because, all the water's rushing around you. However, if you started a subliminal track, before you turn the water on, even once you step into the shower and, it's pretty hard to hear it, you're really just hearing all the water splashing around you, your mind is still picking up on it, which is really cool. And you'll notice too how much better you feel when you have subliminals running, even when you can't explicitly hear them. Like I said, as long as you start that basic connection, with an audible connection, I should say, when you first turn the program on, you can essentially do anything and just have it playing in the background, which is what I highly recommend, because why not? It's just an extra little thing in the background, boosting your overall wellness. Kind of like if you just had a candle or incense or whatever you do, just having that burning in the background while you go do other things. The only thing you really would want to be careful with in terms of overlapping is a frustrating or aggravating situation. It does seem that, people have done research on it, and that when you get angry or you're frustrated or, negative emotion in general, it's just frustration tends to be the most common when you're just, maybe something on the internet's not loading, or you're setting up something on the computer that's not working right, and you get a little frustrated. You might want to actually pause the subliminal, just because when you're angry, it's introducing a bunch of resistance into your mind, and you don't want to be resisting the subliminal result you're trying to achieve. So for the most part, you can basically just, set it and forget it and go about your day. However, it is important to note that if you're starting to get frustrated, you're in a trying situation, you might consider pausing it until you've calmed down a bit. Although there are some subliminals that help you calm down, so you might then switch to a more calming subliminal instead of, let's say you're doing one that attracts money and you get like a phone call and you're getting to an argument. You might want to slow down that money because you're not trying to ruin that manifestation, but then you might turn on one that helps you calm down, and you'd be surprised just how fast these things can work. For instance, there's ones like for removing chronic pain. I know Dr. Virtual has that one as well. And you'd be surprised, you bump your leg and, you got like a pain going or whatever it may be. You listen to that 2 or 3 times. It's pretty interesting how it goes away. I mean, within reason. I'm sure if you had your arm chopped off or something, seek medical attention. But you'd be surprised at just the kind of random, stubbing of toes and whatnot can easily just be mended with sound. Trying to think if there's any other point to go over here. I don't believe so, there is one more thing to mention with it, is that not only does it work by just changing your mind, and your mind dictates everything around you, however, it can also motivate you to do, physical action that would actually get you even closer to that result faster. The easiest example of this is if you're listening to ones about, gaining muscle mass or losing weight. You actually will feel more motivated to work out throughout the day. And in fact, some of the affirmations in the subliminal program might even say, I work out every day, or I eat healthier. That's another thing too, is during those weight loss ones, you'd be surprised how much easier it is to resist, fattier or unhealthy foods and, in favor of some more healthy options. And you'd be interested in just how much motivation you have to work out. And it's a lot easier to get on that consistent path, or consistent workout routine. Maybe you do a 15-minute regimen every morning, and it will just give you more motivation to actually do that and stay on it. So guys, I do recommend you check it out, and don't just try Dr. Virtual. I mean, you can go there's a bunch of random ones on YouTube and even the wider internet as a whole. I just prefer Dr. Virtuals. I just really like his stuff. But you might resonate even more with someone else. Now, if you guys have, subliminal makers that you really prefer, leave them down in the comments below. I always love checking out new subliminals, especially when you know there's some good ones. But like I said, Dr. Virtual is a great place to start if you've never messed with subliminals, or maybe you have in the past and not really achieved the results you were looking for. Dr. Virtuals just seem to be the most effective that I've found. And like I said, it's all about that consistency. So if you just stop after a week, honestly, within a week, you'll probably notice a small change, but it won't be permanent. The permanent change and result really comes within that 21 to 42 day period. And Dr. Virtuals are pretty cool because in his description box, he even kind of outlines how much he recommends you listening to him. He does a lot of research. He does his, he uses his own subliminals and finds out, oh, this is best at night. This is best during the day. Stuff like that kind of helps you out. And also, he's very responsive in his comments, where if people comment asking him about certain things, he usually responds, especially during his newest videos. He seems to really be in that comment section. I, for one, have had several questions answered by him. And just browsing his comments, you'll see he usually responds to people pretty quick and helps them out. So guys, that's it for me. Like I said, try out the subliminals. You'd be surprised all the things you can accomplish with them, and even the things they motivate you to do. You can do ones where, you want more energy, stuff like that, and it might motivate you, to get an energy transfer reset. Link in the description below. No, I mean, you guys should get an ETR, but, this isn't really a shameless plug type of video. More so just a, example of the type of things you might, you might be motivated to do. I mean, you might, I'll finally take this course on astrology, or, I'll finally learn how to do this skill. Just stuff like that. There's even ones for better communication, being more confident in what you're saying. I mean, I know that's a huge reason I'm even talking to you guys today. Besides the energy transfer reset and all the other, spiritual things I've been doing, one of the ones I've been, listening to a lot, subliminal wise, is just ones for better communication, and you can remove your fears, stuff like that, all the things blocking you and preventing you from doing the things you want to do. And now I'm here on YouTube nearly every day, busting out more and more videos, speaking my truth, and having a blast while doing it. And what could be better than that, guys? But alrighty, I'm gonna end it here. As always, I'll leave a link to my website down below if you're interested in ETRs, want to learn more, book a session. As always, you will not regret it one bit, and it will change your life completely. But, that's the end of this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did enjoy it, and you do like the type of content I'm producing, please like, share, and subscribe. It really does help the channel grow. And of course, reaching as many people as possible is, one of the things I intend to do with this channel. So any help from you guys would be greatly appreciated. Life is all about the team effort, building up your team and, really making things happen. So, all right, guys, I've rambled on long enough. You have a beautiful experience in the now. Until next time, keep having fun out there.